Welcome to our Lunch and Learn webinar featuring Sports Lighting Innovations, a home run for localities. I am Mark Levine, and I am the Deputy Director of your New York State Association of Counties, and I am the Executive Director of the Municipal Electric and Gas Alliance, which serves 31 counties and over 240 local governments and schools. This is a webinar co-sponsored by NISAC and MEGA. Today's session will provide an overview of Performance Lighting Delivered, PLD, a unique form of sports lighting as a service program designed to solve the growing challenge of aging sports and recreational lighting infrastructure for municipalities and colleges. Offered through a national purchasing cooperative, Sourcewell Cooperative, PLD provides a truly risk-free alternative to traditional LED lighting upgrades by eliminating upfront capital investment and ownership risk. Through a comprehensive service model, NGU Sports Lighting delivers guaranteed lighting performance, measurable energy savings, and long-term flexibility, allowing municipalities to modernize their facilities with confidence while preserving budgets and reducing operational uncertainty. Before we begin, we have a few brief housekeeping announcements. Jeanette Stanziano is the NISAC Director of Education and Training. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mark. Just a couple of quick notes. We encourage everyone to feel free to submit questions at any time throughout the presentation. To do so, just click on your questions tab on the dashboard, type in your question, and we will get to the questions at the conclusion of the presentation during a brief Q&A. We are recording this sessions as we do for all of our webinars, and they will be posted on our website with a PDF of the slides later today. I also will be emailing you all a follow-up email tomorrow with links to both the recording and the PowerPoint. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Jeanette, for helping to put this webinar on and for all your work in training and educating our members. Our speakers today are Matthew J. Driscoll of Driscoll Consulting, and Tony Saracini, the President of Market Development for NGU Lighting. Matt Driscoll is a seasoned public sector executive with more than 2 decades of leadership across transportation, infrastructure, environmental finance, and municipal government in New York State. He served as Executive Director of the New York State Thruway Authority from 2018 to 2022. Previously, from 2015 to 2018, he was Commissioner of the New York State Department of Transportation. From 2010 to 2015, Driscoll served as President and CEO of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. Earlier in his career, Driscoll served as the 52nd mayor of the city of Syracuse from 2001 to 2009, elected to 2 terms. As mayor, he advanced sustainability and energy initiatives that earned Syracuse national recognition as one of the country's greenest cities. Tony brings more than 15 years of leadership and hands-on experience in LED solid-state sports lighting. A true pioneer in the industry, Tony worked alongside CEO Mike Lorenz at Ephesus Sports Lighting to help introduce and market the first LED sports lighting systems, shaping the early adoption of LED technology across professional, collegiate, and municipal sports facilities. During his nearly decade-long tenure as the Director of Sales at Ephesus, Tony played a critical role in driving market growth, educating stakeholders, and advancing performance-based lighting solutions. Known for his customer-first approach, Tony excels at value engineering, consistently identifying the right balance of performance, efficiency, and cost to deliver optimal solutions that meet both short-term objectives and long-term operational goals. His deep industry knowledge, strategic mindset, and commitment to delivering measurable value continue to position him as a trusted advisor and respected leader in the sports lighting market. It is our pleasure today to introduce Matt and Tony. Tony, take it from here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction. Thank everyone for attending this presentation. It's a pleasure to be in front of your association, and I look forward to explaining the new era of sports lighting procurement. It's a very exciting time for us here at NGU. Before I begin, I would like to take a step back and just quickly talk about the history of LED sports lighting and where we started and to where we landed today with performance lighting delivered. It's a very exciting story. It's a homegrown story. It's about a company that started in Syracuse, New York, and that company is Ephesus Sports Lighting. We're very proud to be a New York State, represent a New York State manufacturer, and work closely with counties throughout New York State and school districts to present a technology that is truly homegrown. So this story starts in 2010. In 2010, the small company in Syracuse, New York, started really an LED company. They didn't really have the focus on sports lighting at the time, but they created something very unique, and that was the ability to push a significant amount of lumens. In their case, 120,000 lumens out of a 1,000-watt fixture, and have that sustained for over a 10-year period. This was the first time this was accomplished. In 2010, 12 patents were submitted, and for the first time, an LED sports lighting, a true LED sports lighting solution, was introduced to the marketplace. Soon after, we lit, or Ephesus, and I say we because I was a part of that team at the time as director of sale, alongside with our current CEO at NGU Sports Lighting, Mike Lorenz. Soon after, we lit a very large facility in Phoenix, Arizona, where the Cardinals play, and proved that our technology was not only utilized in a retrofit capacity, but was reliable, sustainable. And later that year, actually the following year, 2015, that's where the Super Bowl was held. And for the first time ever, the lights were turned off on purpose in a professional venue during a competition. At that time, we caught the attention of all the big players in the lighting industry. And one in particular, Cooper Lighting. We formed a relationship, felt that they were the best company for us to move forward with, and sold the company to Cooper Lighting. It's a big four Cooper Lighting company, $5 billion organization. That was a big day for Ephesus Sports Lighting, and because it allowed us to go out and now take a national approach to marketing our technology. In 2018, Cooper Lighting was spun off by their current owner, which was Eaton Corporation, and purchased by Signify, formerly Philips, making it the largest lighting company, sports lighting company in the world. So in a very short time, we went from 2012 to 2018 from being a startup company in Syracuse, New York, to being owned by the largest lighting company in the world. It was quite a ride. And since that time, we've been able to do a significant amount, like the past 7 out of 8 Super Bowls, really form relationships with large universities. We do all the lighting for universities such as Duke University, both indoor and outdoor, and Florida State University and University of South Carolina, University of Georgia, just to name a few. But at that time of procurement, when Signify bought Cooper Lighting, became the largest lighting company in the world, Mike Lorenz, we had a feeling that in order to be successful, we needed a dedicated organization that focused on end user interaction, sales, installation, and support for the lifetime of that solution with the end user, and met with the leadership at Cooper Lighting, and that's where NGU was born. Mike presented the idea and said, I want to start a company, never give up sports lighting, and I want to be the face of the Ephesus Sports Lighting product And that brings us to who we are at NGU. NGU Sports Lighting is an experienced team of subject matters experts who are passionate about making the transition from traditional HID lighting to a solid state LED sports lighting system in a seamless and fun manner. This is important. We claim that, in the introduction Mark made, we talk about our experience. We have the most experience in the industry. In fact, Mike and I share a title that we're very proud of. We are the longest tenured LED sports lighting salespeople in the world. We sold the first LED sports lighting system back in 2012. Next. Here's a picture of Mike. Mike's a phenomenal, a wonderful guy. I had the opportunity to work with Mike since 2012, and now lead the organization for business development with Mike at NGU. And he just, he's a unique thinker. He's a big thinker, and he thinks outside the box. And that's what brought us today to the PLD, performance lighting delivered model, that we're offering across the country today. Next. So NGU, a bit more about who we are and our experienced team. When we say experienced team, I would say about 75% of the original team that started with the Ephesus Sports Lighting company is now working directly with NGU Sports Lighting. We believe in hiring the best so that we can support our customers. And then we focus on making a transition that is seamless and fun from the old HID lighting to the new LED solid state lighting. There's a concern for many leaders at the municipal level that they have a number of ball fields that need to go through this conversion, and there's a significant cost to that process. We're very passionate about our innovation. Our innovation really separates us from our main competitors. To the tune of being 50% more efficient than our largest competitor. That's significant. And how does that happen? Well, that happens simply because we are the largest lighting company in the world, and through the process of Cooper Lighting purchasing Ephesus and then Signify, our product has been pulled off the line, reevaluated, re-engineered, relaunched out to the marketplace. Well, all that innovation goes back into the product, where other companies are importing from other countries, and they're private labeling those products. We have dedicated lighting engineers that are focused consistently on making things better through rigorous testing protocol. And our last generation of product that was launched in 2022 is now to the tune of 50% more efficient than our competitors. NGU Sports Lighting, now, so we have transitioned to a national value-added partner for Signify Cooper Lighting across the country. So we support the Ephesus line across the country, working directly with the end users. Next. Some of our customers, who we are, just so that makes, so that you have a better idea. We've lit a number of NBA facilities, indoor facilities. So a lot of folks think sports lighting is just outdoors in the ball fields, but we do a significant amount of work with large indoor arenas, arenas such as the Toyota Center, the Amaranth Bank Arena, and we've probably lit 60% of the professional market with the Ephesus product line. We do a significant amount at the professional level for the NFL. And then also college. The college market was a very large market for us. And those were the initial key markets that put Ephesus on the map, the professional venues, and then the collegiate venue. And the collegiate venues are still, they're still going through a conversion, and they're probably about 60% converted. But our real focus now is at the municipal level. Next. A few other complexes that you see here. These are local municipal projects. where we ran to a sports complex was actually a new construction project where we went in and we designed the solution for that complex to exactly what their need was, and a very successful project. Projects in Sprayberry High School and in Georgia, and in fact, we've done high schools across the country. East Central Mississippi is another example, and Ford Field. These are very large parks that we've partnered with municipalities to primarily to increase their visibility so that they can capitalize on sports tourism. That's a very large market for us. We see where there are a number of large parks and facilities that are ideal for travel sports and sports tourism. So what we do is we work closely with municipalities to expose those fields, to upgrade them, to give them that facelift that's going to provide an experience for their athletes, for the parents of the athletes that come, that they remember. And it creates a memory that brings them back. There's a lot of competition. We want to not only do we want to attract them to the facilities, but we want to keep them there. So let's talk quickly about the need of LED sports lighting. Why is there this large need for conversion from HID antiquated technology to new solid state LED technology? Simple. It's aging. It has outgrown the technology. Parts and pieces are difficult to come by, and it's very expensive to maintain. The other need here is simple: the lack of capital to fund replacement technology, right? So the need of aging sports has led us down the line to provide a solution for the lack of capital, and that's performance lighting delivered. Next. Okay, so the solution that we're talking about today is performance lighting delivered. This is the first of its kind. It's a true service program, and the idea here is to provide what you need, where and when you need it, in the way you need it, for 10 years or more. NGU Sports Lighting installs energy efficient LED lighting at your parks throughout your municipality. NGU maintains ownership and provides guaranteed deliverables to your municipality. And what are those guaranteed deliverables? The same guaranteed deliverables that I've been talking with municipalities about for 10 years. How much light do you need on your surface? How are you going to control that light? And guaranteed maximum energy consumption. So we establish that with the municipalities. We engineer the solution, and we provide the solution to your municipality, but we maintain the ownership. So let's talk quickly about a little bit more detail on the guaranteed deliverables. Next. So the guaranteed level of light, foot candles. This is the measure of light on a surface, on a playing surface. So we establish that with your parks director or whoever it is in charge of the facility, depending on the purpose of that facility. If it's a travel sport, if it's a smaller scale baseball facility, we define the use of that facility, and we assign that an IES required light level that is necessary for that surface. And we do that for a simple reason: to ensure optimal visibility and performance for athletes and spectators. The other thing that we do is we define the controllability of that light. The controllability in our industry, control is delivered in three means. Your typical control back when in the antiquated lighting days with HID, you would simply turn the lights on, turn them up, turn them off. You could do that through a breaker, a dedicated switch. The next type of control is through a wireless protocol. And with our system, it's called an air mesh control system. This gives controllability to each individual fixture at the complex, and this provides a significant amount of benefit to your facility. Now you don't just have to turn on all the facility at one time. You can you can dedicate certain fixtures to light an area of a field. You can light one field and not the others. You can light half the number of fields. You have the ability to control the light the way that you need it. This is a significant energy savings measure for the technology. The days of just on and off, those days are gone. Now it's about how do we control the innovation? How do we utilize the innovation so that you can make the ROI make sense to your municipality? And the guaranteed maximum energy consumption, this is very important. You know, we're confident in the product that we're putting into your facility, so we stand by the depreciation of our fixture. We know that we're only going to use, and for the life of the contract, we are going to use a maximum energy for that facility. So we assign that not to exceed kilowatt charge so that you know you have predictable pricing for the life of the 10-year service program. Next. Performance lighting delivered. So in a nutshell, what is performance lighting delivered? It's a risk-free solution to the widespread problem of aging sports and recreational lighting infrastructure. By providing a true service program, NGU eliminates the capital and ownership risk associated with traditional LED sports lighting upgrades. Guaranteed performance, energy savings, and flexible to municipalities and organizations. So every day I make presentations to municipalities and point out the true benefits of PLD. Next. So what are those true significant key benefits? Eliminates all ownership risks. Okay, this is very important. If the service falls short, the service payments stop. In our contract, it says if we do not deliver the light that we've identified you need on your surface and the controllability of that light, then you do not pay us. We take the responsibility for the system because we own it. There is no ownership risk on the end of the municipality. This is important. So I talk often about warranties. You know, a warranty is a nice shiny document that protects the manufacturer. And for the end user and the owner that purchased it, it's going to tell you everything that's not covered. With this solution, we hold the warranty. There is no warranty for the end user. If any problem occurs, we address it. It's on us. If we don't provide the light that we told you we were going to provide you and the control of that light, you do not pay us. So it's within our best interest to make sure that you always have light and it's up and running properly. Complete flexibility to modify the service. This service agreement is amendable. So let's just say that down the road you want to add a field. Then you simply would sit down and we would add that cost, excuse me, that monthly cost into the service contract. That could be one field, it could be a whole nother park. The other nice feature of the program is that as technology changes, which it happens significantly, just to take a step back, we talk about that first 1,000-watt LED fixture that we created back in 2012. Well, that was 80 lumens per watt back in 2012. Today, our system is 178 lumens per watt. So the efficacy is increasing significantly, and that's going to continue to happen. And we know that. And that's what drove the idea of performance lighting delivered. We know these systems are going to change. So why go out and have a huge capital purchase of a technology that's going to be outdated tomorrow? So, could you go back to the previous slide? Okay, great. The other thing that's very important is predictable future system cost, right? So shifting from a CapEx to an OpEx with a service program, you know exactly what that cost is going to be today, tomorrow, and for the next 10 years of the program. Elimination of maintenance. You can take all the labor, all the material, everything that goes into your maintenance program for your existing lighting system, and you can reallocate those to other projects that you have slated for your municipality. And obviously capital avoidance. You know, I know it's a problem when you have to go out to the constituents and ask for a large sum of money, either in a bond or some other fundraising effort to pay for these type of capital improvements. So this allows you to shift that to an operating expense and avoid that capital outlay. Next. So I'm going to turn it over to Matt. Matt, if you want to jump in here and go through the slide, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, well, thanks, Tony, and thanks everybody for listening in today. You know, from my perspective, having dealt with budgets, public budgets over the many years, I think one of the biggest benefits, obviously, is moving away from a capital planning process and transitioning to an operating expense. As we all know, budget planning can be difficult and challenging because there's always multiple needs on any given year. That process can take anywhere from 2 to 5 years, depending. And so in this form, you're able to move away from that and utilize resources that would otherwise be in a capital plan and use those for other things as well. The reduction in energy savings is huge. With the guaranteed deliverables, as Tony mentioned, of light levels, energy use limits, and that's a reduction, of course, of your current use, guaranteed control flexibility, and then the zero maintenance cost. On the environmental side, the reduction of the carbon footprint is big, and it's big and it means something to people. It helps you meet your goals. It helps meet state climate initiative goals. The visibility is brighter and it's safer, quite frankly, for not only the players, but for the fan experience as well. And that's an important when you're bringing people together, whether it's indoors or outdoors. The safety factor for players and fans is very important. Political capital, I think, goes with reducing your energy footprint. Again, doing good practices for environmental stewardship. And as Tony mentioned, on the procurement side, you can sole source this because it's the only product of its kind in the country. It is listed on Sourcewell, as was mentioned earlier. And if you think about how even government is doing business these days, even in government's transitioning to more service models, such as leasing computers, leasing vehicles, or on business centers. There's a number of examples to show where it just makes sense to move away from owning these types of products and rather utilizing them in a contractual agreement, as Tony has outlined, where you have guaranteed energy use levels, control flexibility, light levels, etc., and also no FTEs having to deal with the maintenance of ownership going forward. Tony?
Yeah, and man, I love the word political capital because I see this all the time and with our customers. And I just dealt with, or we just brought on a nice customer in Arkansas, Russellville, city of Russellville, and political capital. So why it was great for that municipality, that it allowed that mayor to satisfy all the constituents in his municipality by doing all the parks at one time, instead of chasing the capital and doing one park a year. And it really, by the time that you complete that transition, you're really back to going and raising more capital to retrofit the first system. So this really is a flexible, affordable way to address your sports lighting needs moving forward. And I'll tell you, the next step here, the next slide are questions. But before we do that, I'll tell you what our process is and what we do for our customers to show you that it is more cost effective to look at PLD than to do a capital purchase. We come out to your municipality, we look at all your facilities. We find out what your need is. It may be I want to do all the parks at one time, or maybe I just want to do one park at a time. We take a look at your need. We put together a plan. We put together a comprehensive plan that includes energy savings, carbon reduction for your municipality, everything that supports your sustainable initiatives throughout your community or your state. And we provide you with a monthly number that is associated with the PLD program. And I will tell you that you're going to find, if you do this, that that monthly number is more compelling than going out and putting a capital outlay for a technology that's going to be outdated tomorrow. So that's the process. And I ask to give me a call, and I will make sure that that happens. And then we'll sit down with you and show you the PLD program and how it's going to benefit your municipality.
And if I may, Tony, I'd like to jump in and just provide, before the question period, one other tangible example. So this in 2025, NGU transitioned the City of Syracuse School District, both indoors and outdoors, for their lighting needs. Why is that important? Well, the City of Syracuse School District, like many school districts, particularly in municipal areas, are cash strapped. And they wanted to be able to provide the most up-to-date technology for their students and student athletes that they were seeing their counterparts do in suburbs and in rural areas. So that transition took place under the PLD performance contract. They are very, very pleased. We can provide a case study to that if anybody is interested. We're happy to send that along, but suffice to say that it's going extremely well for the City of Syracuse School District and delivering on the lighting needs that the school district wanted for their students and student athletes, and they're very, very pleased. So as I said, we're happy to provide that case study if anybody would like it.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Tony, and thank you, Matt, very much. Matt, if we would like the case study, if that's all written and available, if you could forward that along to us, we will make that available on the NISAC website, where this PowerPoint will be available and the recording of this webinar. At this point, I would like to ask any attendees, if you have a question, to go ahead and put that into the question panel of your dashboard. And I will begin by saying, are there state dollars, or asking, are there state grant dollars available for this type of initiative, either through NYSERDA or any of the other of the state's energy efficiency programs that you're aware of?
Is that addressed to me?
Either one, if either one can answer, that'd be great.
So it all depends. It depends on the utility, and really we see them come and we see them go. And quite honestly, I'm not seeing a lot in New York State, but if they are, and if we can identify them, then all those savings are passed on to the end user. So that's something that's outside the PLD agreement. If they're there, we'll certainly look for them. I know in certain parts of the country they give more incentive to to transition out of the HID antiquated world of sports lighting than in New York State. But if it is available, we will identify it and we share that with the customer. That does not come to PLD.
Great, thank you. And I imagine, because of the sustainability results and the carbon savings, that these would also qualify for the state's Clean Energy Communities program. Are the municipalities that, do they pay you for the energy used by the lighting, or do they pay do they continue to pay the utility for the electricity use?
They continue to pay the utility. We own the lighting system, and they pay us for the light and the control of that light, and they continue the payment to the utility for the energy.
And so part of the savings that you indicated or referenced earlier would be the reduction in the electricity use based on these new lights.
Absolutely, and you're looking at significant reduction of probably, I'm seeing anywhere from 75 to 88% on average energy savings.
Great. Right now, I don't have any other questions from our participants. So I would invite the two panelists, Matt and Tony, to wrap up in just a couple of minutes about what our members can do if they are interested in moving forward or explaining this or exploring this program in depth.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, I would like to thank you for the opportunity. This is great. You know, I live in New York. I'm a New Yorker in Syracuse, New York. I'm very passionate about our state and in our communities. So I travel often. So I guess if there's interest, and I really think it's within your best interest to take a look at PLD, just so you know what else is out there, so that you can do your own comparison. Again, I'll tell you that you're going to find it makes 100% sense to move forward with a PLD versus a capital outlay in most situations. But give me a call. My phone number's here, or email me, and I will schedule a time to come out, sit down with you, and we'll evaluate what your needs are first and foremost. That's important, and then we'll put together a plan for you. And that plan, you can evaluate that plan. We'll sit down. We'll show you the energy savings, the carbon savings. And so that you have all the information that you need so that when you're ready to move forward, it's right there. It's right available for you. Well, give me a call. I'm available. I'd love to drive. I'd love to go out and meet folks, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. Well, yeah, just thank you for the opportunity. I do think it's well worth speaking with Tony. You know, as I always say, no is an answer. But I think if you take a hard look at the numbers after an assessment is done, I think there's really a lot of benefits to here. Again, it's a New York State born and bred company still here in New York State. It can be sole sourced. All of the technology is made in North America. There's no parts from China or any of that. So it's a strictly Buy American product. And I think you'll be very pleased with the end result.
Great. I want to, on behalf of the New York State Association of Counties and the Municipal Electric and Gas Alliance, I want to thank our panel today, Matt Driscoll of Driscoll Consulting and Tony Saracini from the Performance Lighting Delivered. Thank you both very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.